What's up, guys? Happy T-Man Tuesday, as we say here around the station. And a little idea I had was to give you a kind of behind the scenes, what it looked like to put together a T-Man, as I do each and every week for you, the fans, and the viewers. So come with me and let's show you how to put together your weekly top 5 plays from T-Man. Step number 1, which is go back to the previous Thursday and Friday, check out the plays, and see what we've got. All right, so there are this week's nominees right through there. No order to them yet because that is part 2, 3-ish. Right now, it's time, obviously, for part number 2, which is to take this list, go into the edit bay, and try to find the clips. All right, so here we are in the edit bay for step number 2. Like I said, once I have the list of the nominees, of course, I'll have to narrow this down to just 5 plays and then order them 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I have to go into the edit bay and then I go into teams and I have to find all the highlights which have the plays on my list. Thankfully, for this one, I did manage to find all the highlights which contain the plays that I have written down as my nominees for this week's. So that brings us to step number 3, which is putting them into Adobe Premiere. And thankfully, if you can see, I've got what I consider a template for T-Man built in there. Now, keep in mind, this has been something that I have done for the last year plus. And now, thankfully, I have a nice system, a nice template set up where I just kind of plug in and adjust how I need to. So I have in there the numbers, as you can see. I have the music, I have my open and my close, my intro, my outro, all that stuff. I line up the plays and I go through them all and see which ones obviously are going to make the top 5, and then the tough task of ordering them. So that brings us to step number 4, ordering the plays 5 through 1. People always ask, like, what am I looking for? Well, it's quite a bit. 1, I'm looking for the plays that obviously shock and awe me. The plays that are like, wow, like, did you see that? You know, kind of thing that give you that. And I can kind of narrow it down from there, like, okay, so of the 8 that I have, these 5 were like, wow, shock, holy cow. My next tier, which is, all right, so what was the scenario? Give me some context here. Was this play a game winner, or was it just another score in their blowout win? Was this one a fantastic play, but it really didn't mean a whole lot? Was this one the one to tie it up? Was this the one to give them the lead that they held and went on to win the game? So there's a lot of things as far as that, and that's what I'll go back and read through all the scripts for the highlights and find out a little bit of context, some substance to what it is that I'm looking at here. These are things that I factor in. And then beyond that, of course, I like to see if I have a decent mix of Class AA, Class A, B, and C. If I've got them, 8-man and 6-man, they all are capable of top 5 play worthy plays. If I have 2 plays, it's like they were just as good, but 2 completely different games. The tiebreaker, it honestly comes down to, well, which one was shot better? Then comes the fun part of writing the script and putting on the VO. That would be step number 5, is writing the script and then voicing T-Man's top plays. All right, so the scripting and VO are done, so we are officially in the final phases of it. Basically, what I'm doing now is I'm matching the play up with the VO, specifically the comic book bubble parts of it, the boom, crash, the pow, because I do a freeze frame for those and add the comic bubble. And one part that I think a lot of people don't know, or if they do, they overlook, is the attention to the detail as far as finding the right frame to freeze on. You can get down to the exact moment where everything kind of becomes clear and you have that really great just sort of freeze moment, and you can add your bubble. Okay, so where do I want to end this? Crash. Okay, so this is going to be a crash. So I want to look for the best frame of when they're like full-on collision, like both have met right about there. That's a perfect one. It's actually super clear. They're both in focus. You can see everybody. And it's got a great spot for the comic book bubble to go right up here. I don't need to zoom in or crop or anything. So these are the little details. This is why T-Man is such a process. It's such an art. It's really a labor of love and above all a passion project for me, which is why I devote an entire day to it once a week, so I can get it right, because honestly, it's not just me putting my name on a finished product, but the kids in these deserve the best I can offer. All right, so the plays are cut up, the comic book bubbles are placed on the freeze frames, the VO is matched. So there you have it. We've gotten through steps 1 through, 5, 6, however many there are for me on a typical Tuesday. You just got a quick rundown of what it takes to make T-Man's top 5 plays. So that's the process, and now for the finished product in 5, 4, 3, 2.
T-Man. He's faster than an average person. Powerful enough to open that stubborn jar of pickles. Can leap small puddles in a single bound. Here to save the day with his top 5 plays, it's T-Man.
T-Man.
And here are my top 5 plays of the week.
Number 5. We begin in Belt, where a Husky turns villain. Trailing early, the Sugar Beaters were looking for an offensive spark, but Ethan Triplett spoils the drive. Kapow! He snatches the ball away for one evil interception. Number 4. The big run signal was spotted above Memorial Stadium, and Braden Rankin answered the call. With a burst of speed, he collides with a defender, crash, and takes it all the way inside the 15 for a 60-yard Bison run. Number 3. CMR went DMC and got tricky with a Rustler Razzle Dazzle. A reverse to Ben Hoyland, boom, who then steps up and launches it downfield to River Wasson. Pow! He grabs it in midair for an unbelievable catch. Number 2. Holy Houdini, T-Man. On their own 1-yard line, Adam Bockenbush activates his teleportation. Wham! He disappears, reappears, and disappears into the distance for a 99-yard Rams touchdown. And finally, number 1, to Gallatin, where we find our hero of the week. With a 1-point lead, Brent Vegan launches a Raptor rocket to number 1, Quinn Clark. Kaboom! He mosses 2 defenders on just one of his 3 touchdowns and secures a Gallatin victory.
And those are my top 5 plays of the week. My work here is done. Until next time, hut hut hike!